There are fundamental mistakes that beginners, intermediates, and even experienced astral projectors make. These mistakes include focusing too much on the vibrational state, fearing an hypnagogic state, being scared of sleep paralysis, and forming self-limiting beliefs. Don't worry if you're not sure what I'm saying. I will explain each section for you now. Stop focusing on reaching the vibrational stage. Of all questions, let me tell you, over my 11 years of practicing all of this, I have barely ever intentionally focused on trying to induce some sort of vibrations or any other type of sensation in order to get out of my body. My only intent most of the time is to be awake and aware out of my body and to focus on what I want to achieve or where I want to go. I don't get too caught up in this whole process of separation or how I'm going to come out of my body. I'm not overly concerned with how it happens, practically speaking. So let's make one thing very, very clear for people who are new to this. Vibrations do not have to happen in order to astral project. It's just a sensation that can be felt. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You can become conscious of the whole separation phase and literally feel yourself energetically coming out of your body, or your awareness may skip all of that together, and you may just find yourself suddenly standing in your room with your full awareness intact. There may be just a pause in your consciousness. You may be unconscious for some moments, and then you'll find yourself out of body. Questions related to all this sound somewhere along the lines of, do vibrations happen before, after, or during the transition from wakefulness to sleep? Or, how can I reach the vibrational stage? Or, I couldn't get past the vibrational stage. My advice is to not focus on all of that at all. If you only focus and give your attention to that, separation and vibrations, then sure, maybe you'll be able to achieve that, but you might get stuck in that, or not get past that at all. Why? Because that's where all your intention and focus has been placed on. You're so obsessed with that is what is going to become your reality and your experience. Your intention should reach beyond the vibrational stage altogether and be more directed at actually traveling beyond the body and on also what kind of spiritual desires you want to fulfill. Perhaps traveling through space, finding a certain person, or it can be as simple as just walking down your road, or maybe you want to confirm an experience or something. Regardless, stop giving too much energy and attention to trying to reach this stage. People too often start developing a self-limiting habit where they say, I can't reach the vibrational stage, therefore I cannot astral project. Inquire into yourself and ask yourself if you hold this sort of belief within you. It's a total block towards these experiences. Fearing hypnagogic voices/sounds. Number 2. Assuming that what you're hearing during separation are monsters or demons trying to suck you into the underworld or something. So while separating or perhaps in sleep paralysis, there can be perceptions of seemingly real voices or strange visuals. These are most often experienced if the person hasn't overcome fear related to astral projection and hasn't had a fully fledged out-of-body experience yet. This is more common in those people. These kinds of experiences, if you're having them, take notes that they will diminish once you start getting over them, basically. And so most of these perceptions are simply tests from your subconscious to see if you can really handle having your consciousness out of your body, or whether you're going to let fear or quote-unquote scary thoughts or emotions overwhelm you. The key to overcoming this is the same as the first mistake about getting past the vibrational stage, which is to ignore it and continue anyway and not give too much attention to it. Just recognize it and instantly carry on with your intention. Remember your goal. Remember what you want to do and why you want to do it, why you want to astral project. Okay, do not be distracted, or better said, be impartial towards those perceptions. Once you get past any initial sort of fear, then the real perceptions of the astral open up. Once your consciousness has fully gathered itself out of the body, once you're out and have gotten past any test, you'll have a clear mind and a clear experience, free from these subconscious tug of war with things to do with fear and nonsensical voices and etc. Right? When you experience astral projection in this way, and when you first come out, it can be sort of similar to waking up in the morning like you're feeling groggy and in a sort of trance-like state. Maybe you don't know whether you're dreaming or not, but as long as your intention is in being fully aware, fully awake with your usual sense of self intact, free from subconscious dreaming, then you should have a breeze in simply being objective towards any distracting sounds on the way during separation. So being fully aware and fully conscious implies being fully conscious of yourself, which innately implies to have no fear. Fear cannot exist if you are really conscious of yourself, really conscious of your ability to think thoughts and feel emotions, and your whole being as a whole. Being scared of sleep paralysis. Number 3. getting scared during sleep paralysis instead of focusing on getting out. This is a little similar to the first 2 points, but this in itself is a very common question in the sense that people are specifically getting stuck in sleep paralysis and they panic and they can't move. Do you know the only reason why you're stuck? It's because of your fear and panic. That's the only reason you're being held down, and the only reason you're stuck. This fear and panic derives from not realizing or understanding that you can easily leave the body or induce vibrations from that state. For anyone who naturally has sleep paralysis and is very scared of it, let me tell you, you are actually very lucky. I love that state. I wish I could experience it every night, because every time I do have sleep paralysis, every now and then, I leave the body without fail, and you know I'm not exaggerating when I say, every single time I have experienced sleep paralysis, I have successfully left the body. It's very easy to induce vibrations from that state. All I do is start to feel or wriggle my astral body instead of my physical body, and the energy starts to build up and I can just get up or float up as I regularly would. So try it next time you're in sleep paralysis. Just get up. You'll be fine because your physical body can't get up. So you know what happens if you strongly intend to just get up without thinking about it, but your physical body is paralyzed? Well, you'll get up, of course, in your astral body, so just try it, of course. You know, if you do this, you need to be absolutely free from fear. If you're in sleep paralysis, okay, there might be some initial fear. Just observe it and say, okay, whatever, let's carry on and let's experiment, right? Let's try something. Number 4, thinking too much during the separation phase instead of being focused on where you want to go or in what you want to achieve. You should see the amount of questions I get related to the stages of separation. There are paragraphs amongst paragraphs of rationalizations, analyzations, conflicting perspectives, etc. I can already tell in most messages like that when it's about separation, and there's a lot of paragraphs I already know that this person is thinking way too much into it. You have to understand that leaving the body is extremely simple and natural to do. It requires no thinking at all. It is not complex in its practical essence. You have to learn to get into the flow of what is happening. That is all. Sure, you can analyze it a bit afterwards, like now while you're watching this video, for example, but when it comes to the experience, do not mix theory with practice, nothing else, only experience, only feel, only play the music, only dance, so to speak. There's a rhythm, there's a flow. Don't disconnect yourself through thinking. Instead, get intoxicated with it, get lost in the experience of it. Thinking is for afterwards. You have all the time in the world to think, but not a lot of time to be, and do, and experience, so do not ruin it with thinking. Thinking is the number 1 obstacle and challenge in astral projection. Forming self-limiting beliefs to do with diet. Number 5. Forming self-limiting beliefs to do with diets. We have to realize that what we eat and what we put into our mouths is not going to awaken our consciousness. Actually, what comes out of our mouths is much more important, and not just the words you speak, but the way you speak. How we communicate and express ourselves says a lot about our level of consciousness and understanding. I've left my body while eating all sorts of processed foods, meats, fruits, etc., and I've had success. And I've had long periods with eating healthy and exercising, but had no success, and vice versa. So I even went vegetarian for half a year. So it's less about what we eat, more about our consciousness in any given situation. Now sure, you can respond with, okay, but don't certain foods and eating healthy help? Yes, sure, it helps you attune the physical body and become more sensitive to these subtle realms of energy, but what you need to realize is there's a point where physical health and physicality in general has little to no effect on the physical dimension of life and the non-physical experience. Do you think when a person dies he won't leave his body because he's extremely unhealthy or isn't vegan? Because you have stayed this long, I want to give you something special. If you know how to lucid dream, then this is for you. If not, I'll leave a link in the description where you can learn. Right when you become lucid, it is really easy to springboard into an astral projection. What I do is stand there, hold my hands up to the sky, look up and say, I want to leave my physical body now. If you command this a couple of times, you may start flying up like Superman out of your dream into an astral projection. This is one of the easiest methods for me. Now, good luck with your journeys. Leave a comment and I'll be sure to answer them. Until next time, goodbye.